Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It is Wednesday, and tonight we are on the missing link. Okay, no panels tonight, no reviews tonight. We are on the missing link, and you guys know what the missing link is about. I do interviews on the missing link with entrepreneurs, especially from castmates from Ready to Love, and pretty much anybody that has a business. But tonight we have a special guest, and we have Chris Cruff Ruffin. You guys may recognize him from Ready to Love Dallas, which is the season that just ended on the Oprah Winfrey Network. And that was the show that I was on. So yeah, it's kind of like 6 degrees of separation. So it's definitely relevant, but I'm so excited that you are here tonight. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And just to let you know, and I know a lot of times when I do these interviews, a lot of times people are like, what's the link? What's the link? So everything we're pretty much going to talk about, and Chris is probably going to add some more links if he chooses to. But if you want to follow Chris on Instagram, it's in the description box below. If you want to follow him on the IMDb, which is his movie stuff, which we're going to get into, that is down below. His website for Cruft is down below. The Instagram website for Cruft is also down below. So everything is in the description box down below, okay? Because people are going to be like, what's the link? What's the link? So just to let you know from the very beginning, the links are down below. All right, so let's just jump right into it. I don't want to waste no time. Thank you so much for being here once again.
Thanks
All right,
for having me.
so we're just going to literally, this is probably, and I always say that this is probably the hardest question I'm going to have for you. And it is, who is Chris Cruff Ruffin?
Who is Chris Cruff Ruffin? Chris Cruff Ruffin is a entrepreneur, stand-up guy, actor, public figure to the community, and just overall, just a good person, just a man of God who like to make people happy, who like to show gratitude, just a hard-working gentleman, country boy at heart with a city mindset. That's how I would represent myself and say that's who I am.
Okay. And I know from the show, like you were wearing cowboy boots too, weren't you? Like you were a true cowboy.
Yeah, I was wearing cowboy boots.
All right, guys, we're getting ready to dive deep. If you're in the chat, make sure you keep the comments going and don't forget to like the video. So, okay, so you were on Ready to Love Dallas. Where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Mississippi. I'm from a small town in Mississippi called Farm Haven, Mississippi. And that's about 45 minutes outside of Jackson, Mississippi, if people wanted to know a landmark. So I grew up there in a very small town, very family oriented. Everyone knows everyone. Mm-hmm. Super humble beginnings. That's where I'm originally from. Moved to Dallas at a very young age with my father. Mm-hmm. So I like to say I'm from both because I've actually been in Dallas longer than I have Mississippi. I moved to Dallas when I was under 13 years old. So out of my 34 years on this planet, I've probably been in Dallas at least 25 of those. So, but I go home a lot, and a lot of my family's Mississippi. That's my roots. That's where I'm from. So yeah.
Right. So is that where your accent's from?
Yeah, that's where my accent's from for sure.
Yeah, that's crazy because you weren't there that long, but you sound like you straight from Mississippi. And
Well, I was there for a while. I would say up until the age of like 11, 12, middle school. Okay. I came to Dallas in middle school. So yeah, I've been in Dallas ever since.
Yeah, that's kind of cool because I was born in Korea, but I don't speak Korean fluently. Oh. And you sound like you left
so
there.
You know some Korean, right?
Absolutely. I can.
안녕하세요.
Oh, 안녕하세요. How do you know Korean?
My dad's wife is Korean, and my half brothers and sisters are Korean as well. So I do know some Korean. I grew up with the American refrigerator in the house and a Korean refrigerator. I know about kimchi, all of that. My grandma Oma, she stayed with us up until she passed. So yeah, I have a big background when it comes to Korean. I know a lot about the culture. My dad and his wife have been married a very long time. That's who I grew up in the household with when I moved to Texas. My siblings on that side, which are was through marriage, but they're Korean and African American as well. So yeah, I know a lot about Korean. So that's funny that you're from Korea. Yeah.
Yeah, I was born in Seoul. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Wow, that's amazing. That's an amazing culture to have, like within your life. grow
Yeah,
up.
very good people, very praying people, very clean, very family oriented, very nice, giving. Yeah, amazing. Yeah, my dad's wife is amazing. Her name is Young Song Chang.
Oh wow, my
Yeah,
last name is Chang too.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Well, yeah.
So
Oh,
I
that
do.
is so funny. We might be
Yeah,
cousins.
you might be. But
Dang,
yeah,
that's so amazing. And that's crazy because in conversations like this, like you just never know what you find out about people. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
absolutely. Yeah, I grew up that way. When I was in school, we had two different refrigerators. Like I said, one with Korean food, one with American food. Keep your
Yep.
kimchi in a jar, all of that good stuff. Yeah, I
Yep.
know a lot about. Yeah, so that's how I kind of grew up down here in Texas.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
that is so amazing. Okay. Oh, that's so neat. Okay. Okay, so you grew up in Dallas. Okay, so let me ask you this because I know from what we saw on the show, and we're not going to talk about the show right now, but I know from what we saw, we had a glimpse of your personality. So how would you describe your personality?
Me, I would say I'm witty, very fun person, like to have fun, a big jokester, super goofy, take things serious, but don't show my serious side a lot often. I like to have fun. I like to make people laugh. I like being the life of the party. Wouldn't call myself a jokester, but I like to just have fun, make people laugh. My personality, I would say, is like really outgoing.
Uh-huh.
Uh, that's me in a nutshell. Just an outgoing person. Like to light up the room and just make everyone feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. So are you that type of person that goes into the restaurant and you have like a full-blown conversation with like the waiter or the waitress?
I like to crack jokes with the waiter, make them feel uncomfortable. I like to say weird things sometimes to make people be like, "What did he just say?"
Right, right. Yeah, I'm the
But
same
yeah,
way.
it's all love at the end of the day. Just
Yeah.
good vibes. Yeah,
Yeah, I get it. I'm the same way. I think it's so cool to have people like you like on this earth with that type of personality because we need more people like that, like around where it's like
absolutely,
not that serious and it's just you come from a place of love. You know what I mean? So yeah,
absolutely,
that's important. So that's cool. That's cool. Okay. Because we didn't really get to see that side of you. You know what I mean? Like
absolutely.
full blown, like on the show. Because I would have never thought like you were a funny guy.
Oh no, super funny guy. Like I crack so many jokes, and everyone who know me, they know that about me. Like, oh, Chris gonna have you dying laughing. He gonna have you crying. So I was mad that I didn't get to show that type of personality on the show as much because everything happened so fast, not going into the show.
Mm.
But I would. That's the way to the light that I wanted the world to see me in. It's like, okay, this is a good guy, hardworking guy, really a fun person to be around. Because I actually like everyone in my phone, my complete family, all my friends, like, man, your calling was to be a flat out comedian.
Yeah.
Um, People I don't even know. I don't know. I know how to make people smile, laugh. So I didn't get to show that a lot, but I got a very big personality for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We would have loved to have seen that part. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So growing up, and because I kind of know like what you're into now, but growing up, what did you want to be growing up? Like 10-year-old Chris, you were like, I want to be, you know.
10-year-old Chris, uh, I wanted to be an NBA player at first because I was big into sports.
Okay.
I grew up in the country playing basketball like in the dirt. Like I grew up like that. Like it was a goal sitting outside, a big dirt mound. You pass our house, it's just dirt flying everywhere. So
Yeah.
I grew up in that type of background. I had the mom that had all the friends in the neighborhood come over, even though it's a country town. So everybody come to my house because I was the kid, had a basketball goal in the backyard and
Mhm.
all that good stuff. But I was really good at sports. So my initial dream was to go to the NBA and play basketball, and it didn't work out that way. But that's what I really wanted to do. Like I really love sports. I spent a lot of time playing basketball growing up, even in Mississippi and Texas. And it's amazing how God can use one thing and take it in another direction.
That's right.
And if you're not smart enough to recognize that, sometimes you will lose your blessing. So I realized it wasn't meant for me to be an NBA basketball player or play basketball in college. But it was also meant for me to play basketball to see my other talent that did give me a full scholarship to college and did take me a lot of places in life. And I was able to meet people all across the world. I actually ran track and field, but I would say track and field and cross country came through basketball. Make a long story short, uh, my coach made the basketball team in high school run cross country to help you get in shape.
Wow.
I went out there, me never ran track before, anything like that, and beat most of the guys who was already on the track team and running cross country. So they was like, man, that's pretty impressive, Chris.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. So the coach came to me, talked to me on the side, and was like, hey, man, I'm not telling you what to do. You're pretty good in basketball, because I was good in basketball in high school. But he was like, man, if I was you, I really would look into this. I don't know if I need to talk to your dad or whatever, but man, you got like a gift that you need to tap into, because no one comes out here and do what you've done and say you haven't trained for it. So I only imagine if you train for it, Chris. Right. If you train for it, I can guarantee you'll be able to go to any school in the United States. And I actually went out the next year and I succeeded in track and field and cross country and took the team to the district championship in Texas, and got qualified for regionals and state. And that's very hard to do in the state of Texas, because this is a big state that's very big on track and field and football. So I basically utilized the blessing through basketball, and that helped me get a scholarship to college. And I was blessed and didn't have to pay for school or nothing of that nature. And it all happened from me just utilizing the basketball and then seeing another talent that I didn't even know I could tap into. And I turned out to be great in that, like exceptionally well. I won like a lot of championships in college, over 5 Division I championships, my entire college career. So, I mean, that's how that went.
That is so amazing and so inspirational. Like, and that's why I love doing these interviews. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because like I whatever we talk about, like, and people that watch the replay, like that's what it's about, to show people, like, don't just give up on your dreams. Like your dream may be that dream you have may be a branch off to a bigger dream.
Exactly.
Don't ever stop, because you never know
what
is leading you. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, exactly. Because it came to a point where it's like, okay, if I would have stuck with the basketball route, of course I wanted to go to college, because at this point my dream changed. I wanted to be a doctor or a pharmacist or a veterinarian. I knew I wanted to do something like that, because I can be a nerd at times. I'm that guy that like to watch Forensic Files. I like to watch the Discovery Channel. I'm the type, you come to my house, it's the ocean playing. I'm looking at fishes and all that type of stuff. So I utilized that, and that would help me get to schooling, because if you have to realize, if I was stuck with basketball, I probably never would have got a scholarship. I was good, but I didn't get my dad height. My dad like 6'5".
Oh, wow.
So I thought I was going to be much taller, and it didn't work out that way. But to make a long story short, I just utilized that and ended up getting a scholarship to multiple schools, and I chose Grambling State University. I'm a Grambling State alumni, Graham fam. And I chose that school because it was the midway point. My mother lived in Mississippi, so Grambling was 3.5 hours away from Mississippi. Dallas, 3.5 hours away from Dallas, in the opposite direction. Mm-hmm. So I felt like that was a great school for me. Went to visit, and that's why I went for my education career. I went to Grambling, ran track all 4 years, and that good stuff. That's how that worked out for me.
Wow. So if you don't mind me asking, because I know, like, just from the conversation, how tall are you?
I'm 6'3".
And you didn't think that you were tall enough for basketball? Because there's some point guards that's like...
I tell people, like, I'm an 80s baby. I'll be 35 on Thanksgiving. So back then, it was harder to make it in sports than it is now. A lot of these guys, you know, it was tougher. It was a lot. Social media wasn't as big as it was back then. So you really had to be exceptionally well. So back then, if a guy 6'6" or 6'7", you're going to outdo the guy every time that's 6'2". A lot of people was getting opportunities just off height. I seen when coaches tell you, hey, man, just put your hands up.
Right.
I just want you to stand up in the middle and put your hands up. So I'm not saying that's not the reason that I didn't take the basketball route all the way, but that does play a difference. I really thought I was going to be much taller than what I was due to my family members. I have a lot of tall men on my father's side. Mm-hmm. So, but I tapped into, like I said, another talent that took me through college and helped me get my degree and all that good stuff. I got my degree in biology and I'm minored in chemistry.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And I mean, and of course, you have to trust the process. So exactly where you ended up is exactly where you were supposed to be. But I was just wondering, because you were saying like you didn't further basketball and because of your height. So I'm just like, well, how tall? I'm thinking you're going to say like 5'11".
No. I'm just, but I was at a very competitive school. When I came to Dallas, I went to Duncanville High School. That's one of the top 2 high schools in the nation, if not the largest, the second largest high school in the nation. So I came to a complete culture shock. You have to fail to realize I come from a small town in Mississippi where the graduation class might be 25, 30 people. Entire school only have a couple hundred people. I transitioned to Dallas, going to a school at the time back then, we might have had 5,000, 6,000 kids. You see what's going on? So we had a basketball team on every level. So this is a school that plays a national schedule. So it was a different ball game. You see what's going on? So yeah.
Okay, so after school, you went to school, you graduated. I'm not sure if you graduated, but you went to school. So after school, with employment, in a sense, like what did you start doing? Like what kind of job did you get into after school?
After college?
Right.
Well, after college, I got my degree in biology. The main reason I got my degree in biology because I wanted to do something veterinarian, pharmacist. My mind was in around that realm, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. So I figured if I go to school and major in biology, I could set myself up where I could have different things I could select from. Because with a biology degree, if you want to go to medical school, that's what you're going to need. If you want to be a pharmacist, that's what you're going to need. If you want to be a veterinarian, that's what you're going to need. So I said, let me get that foundation out the way first. Because my original plan was, okay, when I went to school, I said, I'm going to go. By the time I got close to graduation, I had said, okay, I'm going to go to school to be a medical doctor. I wanted to be a doctor, neuroscience, and then I also wanted to do chiropractic medicine. So I a doctor in chiropractic. So I ended up doing the research, did everything, took the tests I needed to do, and I got accepted into Life University. That's a doctoral school in Marietta, Georgia. That's a suburb in Atlanta. So I didn't initially have a plan to answer your question, okay, am I going to work or am I going to go get a job? That was my plan. I'm going to graduate, go home, and then when that transition window to go to medical school, I'm going to leave and head to Atlanta. So that was my initial plan when I graduated, just come home for that mini break and then go to Atlanta, but things didn't work out that way. So
what happened? Like your story is so interesting. So what happened
was I came, my family was in Mississippi. At the time, my uncle moved down here from Chicago. And he was like, Chris, I always wanted to do like entertainment and stuff. But, you know, growing up in Mississippi, I didn't have like, it's like you don't know, like, how can you get into that lane? And when I say always want to get into it, I wanted to be an athlete. When I came to Texas, let me correct you. My uncle brought that to my attention, like talent. He was like, man, I'm going to be honest, Chris, I'm not a hater. A lot of people not going to tell you things. That's why I messed up in life. People can see you have certain potential. People can see things that you can't see about yourself sometimes. And some people just plain out haters and won't tell you. He was just like, man, I'm not going to tell you nothing wrong. I know you said you wonder how people go to do acting and all this stuff and model and the Hollywood scene. He was like, I'm telling you, man, you got everything it takes to do it, Chris. I know your parents and you want to be a medical doctor. I've never been a hater because you talking to a country boy. He's from a big city like Chicago. So when I'm saying he grew up faster, seen a lot of things quicker than me, and he had that type of ambition about him. So he basically was schooling me a little bit, saying, I'm not saying don't go to medical school, Chris, but I know also heard you say that you wanted to do entertainment and all that stuff. You already have your degree. Your parents can't be mad at you. You're going to get older. So if you're going to take that shot, you need to take it now.
Yeah.
So at the time, I'm a kid, early 20, coming home from college, and I'm getting this speech from my uncle. And he's just like, man, I'm telling you, medical school not going nowhere. You already been accepted into Life University. You can go try to do what you're going to do. If it don't work out, then go to medical school. It's not going nowhere, but you don't want to look back one day and say, man, I wonder what would have happened. You see what's going on? But the thing about it, not to jump the story, I had a cousin who grew up with me in Mississippi. His name's Shantu Miles, very successful music producer in Los Angeles. We grew up just 2 kids, you know, on a dirt road, looking at cars pass by, just with a dream. His father lived in California. My father lived in Dallas. That's how I initially got to Dallas. So I cried every day, asked my mom. She let me move to Dallas with my dad. He asked, could he move to LA with his dad? So we both left and went with our fathers at the same time.
Oh, wow.
When I graduated from Grambling, he called me. And he said, hey, Chris, man, you know, I live in Vegas now. And I know you want to do that entertainment stuff. You know, you say you want to get into film and all that guy stuff. Now, I'm not in Los Angeles, but I'm in Vegas. Now I'm gonna tell you like this, Chris. Vegas is a lot closer to Hollywood than Dallas.
Yeah.
I got this little apartment down here. You more than welcome to come catch the floor. You just graduated or whatever. I thought about it. My uncle started talking to me like, hey man, think about it. So to make a long story short, the same week that I was supposed to leave and start medical school, that Friday I jumped ship and I went all the way to Las Vegas on a leap of faith. I prayed to God. I grabbed a suitcase. I had my little bow tie on. I probably had $60 to my name in a one-way plane ticket. I rolled out the door. At the time, it's just me and my uncle staying together. And he said, man, I wish you the best. You're going to do your thing. I got you from a distance. My family thinking I'm crazy. Like my mom, like, you got to think about this. You my mom, and I'm sitting here telling you, yeah, I'm going to chase some dream, and your son just got accepted to school to be a doctor.
Right.
Looking at me like this boy that lost his mind. But my uncle saw my true potential. And I also realized what he was saying. Like, some people are not going to believe, Chris, because that's like a pipeline dream. You get what I'm saying? But me, I'm like a big faith person. Like, I made this for in my life because I really have faith. Like, I'm not one of those people who halfway got faith. Like, I really like show God that, like, okay, I believe in you. And the best way you can do that through action.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can show God you got faith in him. When you start taking action,
Right.
that's you ain't got to do none of that. That's deeper than prayer when you take action.
Yeah.
So I went out there and things started opening up for me. And that's how I transitioned and didn't go to medical school. I ended up going to Vegas first. Now I could go deeper into the story, but I don't know if you want me to.
I was about to say, so when you got to Vegas, so did you get into the entertainment? Did you
So
start?
I went to Vegas. I'm staying with my cousin at the time.
Like we right on flow with my question.
Yeah.
So this is great.
I'm staying in Vegas. I'm with my cousin, and I'm catching the bus. A movie come in town. A movie called Las Vegas, and it had Robert De Niro, Michael Douglas, Morgan Freeman, and a lot of these guys in it. At the time, I know nothing about the industry.
Yeah.
So he like, man, sign up. You know, online. I try to sign up and be what you call an extra. So I catch the bus. I go to the set. I'm going every day to the movie set. And then I had a homegirl who went to Grambling with me. She was actually from Vegas and ran track. So, you know, I had a few people who was in, and she wanted to do that type of stuff too. So some days I catch the bus, but the days I couldn't catch the bus, me and her both was extras in the movie. She'll call me sometime and be like, hey, Chris, you ain't got to catch the bus. I know you're not from here, because you got to be, I'm in Vegas, a country don't know nothing. I'm scared to death. I'm doing this with bare minimum. I'm talking about days I'm getting on the bus with nothing.
Yeah.
I'm talking about nothing. And I mean, she'll be like, hey, I'll come pick you up, Chris. You can ride with me. So I'm the type of person I joke around. I say, I'm telling y'all, something good gonna happen to me. Y'all can, because I'm on a major movie set. This is a big movie. To put it in comparison, picture being on the set of the Titanic. You know how many people was in that movie just running around on that boat that you don't know? Just thousands and thousands of extras. So to put that in perspective, I'm one of those people on the set of Las Vegas. I'm just another pedestrian walking down the street with a dream. And it's millions of people, I'm over exaggerating, thousands of people in this movie with the same dream I got. But I'm joking with you in the car. I'm saying, I'm telling y'all, somebody gonna see my talent or something good gonna happen to me. My friends who giving me the ride to set, they laughing at it. Oh, man, you crazy. You know how hard it is to get into it. So I'm just steady believing in faith. After about a week of being on set, the director of the movie, John Turtletab, huge director, walks into the extra room. He looking around like this. And me, I was taught to carry myself nice. Even if you got $1 million, if you don't got nothing, I'm dressed real nice, minding my own business and stuff. And he looking, he point to me in the corner. Hey, man, what's your name? I said, I'm Chris Ruffin. Have you ever done a movie before? I'm like, well, I'm the type of person, I'm smart. I ain't gonna say no, because I'm the type of person I can smell opportunity.
Right.
So I don't want to say no, because this might mess up my shot.
Right.
Have you ever done like stunt double work, stand-in work? I'm like, well, I kind of know. I got an idea. He said, man, you think that I'm in a room with probably 5,000 people. It's how God works.
Yep.
He walks up to me, picks me out of this room and say, man, I want to make you Morgan Freeman stand in. So I went from a person on the bus to now I'm calling home because my uncle basically mentoring me. Hey, man, I know it's going to be hard out there. Keep your head up. I call him 2 weeks later and say, man, you're not going to believe this, man. They just made me Morgan Freeman. Now, this ain't nothing like I'm talking in the movie, but you know how big that is to say you don't got no experience or nothing. You just took a leap of faith. You were extra in the back room. All of a sudden, you done went from being an extra to somebody got you being a stand-in for one of the greatest African-American actors of all time. So now it's just surreal. Disqualified me for the Screen Actors Guild. I'm talking about stuff that I know now because I have the knowledge. Back then, I didn't even know what this stuff was. I'm like, you know, they telling me, man, they about to put me in the SAG, and I'm with Morgan Freeman, and I'm looking at Robert De Niro, and he's like, what you mean? I'm saying, man, Robert De Niro next to me. I can touch him on the shoulder. So I'm working with these people. They say, man, you're doing a great job, Chris, because you listen. So they say, we want to make you the permanent stand-in. So I go from doing this job one day from the guy who's making $50 with a meal on set to $200 a day with a meal. Only difference is you, Morgan Freeman, I'm your stand-in. Basically, that means I mimic everything that you do on set. They use me as a test dummy. So Will Smith, before he go out there and do his scene, I'm the guy that they put out there first to make sure the light right, make sure this right. Whole time, Morgan Freeman standing right here next to me, watching me. You know what type of experience that is? That's God. So I didn't have to go. So me, the type of person I am, I like to pay attention. I like to learn. I'm watching everything because now I'm getting something that school can't teach you. I don't care what school you go to for Hollywood. I don't care what acting school you go to. You can go to Juilliard. Ain't no experience like being in the situation. So I use that as my school. I never went to an acting school or nothing like that. I just was paying attention. I'm like, look at how they moving. Wow, look at how he working. I'm working with this man for 2-3 months. Up until I'm getting to see what's going on. And that right there opened my eyes.
Yeah.
I said, shit, ain't nobody, you ain't got to tell me nothing else, God. You ain't got to tell me nothing else. And that's when I started taking entertainment serious. And I put my blood, sweat, and tears after that. And then I got into it and got to meet Morgan Freeman, and he was like, he's from Mississippi, I'm from Mississippi. And he was like, man, you super ambitious kid, man, keep going. You got everything. You know, after somebody who won an Oscar and told me that, you don't even got to say no more because he don't even know who you're dealing with at this point. So that's what happened when I went to Vegas. And that's when I knew, we haven't got that far in the interview, but that's when I knew kind of acting and stuff was for me because that don't happen to everybody. You see what I'm saying? That's being at the right place, at the right time. God got that set for you to be at the right place at the right time. And I'm going to put somebody who's been doing this 40 years in front of you to confirm it, Chris. Now, let's see if you're smart enough to reciprocate the blessing that I got for you down the line. And I took that blessing 15 years ago, and shit, that's the best decision I ever made in my life. No cap. So I ended up taking that and running with it. Because that right there, I'm like, man. And then my uncle's like, man, you know how hard that is to do, Chris? For somebody to say they about to qualify you for the Screen Actors Guild. Man, these people been acting 10 and 13 years, ain't never gotten nothing like that, bro. He's like, this is for you, man.
Yeah.
A blind man can see that. You see what I'm saying? So I took that and was smart enough to recognize it. And I took it and ran with it. And from that point, I ended up staying in Vegas a while. Things got hard on me and my cousin in Vegas because we kids. I'm talking fresh out of college, a child just in Vegas. Like, so I'm like, man, I don't know what to do. I don't want to go back home. I don't know what's next. So me, I'm a thinker. I say, shit, man, Atlanta booming in Hollywood. Atlanta got everything you need, but you ain't really got the support to get there, Chris. You ain't got nobody gonna help you get there. Okay, but you did get accepted into medical school out there. So what did Chris do? Chris make the phone call. This a year and a half, 2 years later. I ended up staying in Vegas 2 years.
Wow.
So I make the phone call. Hey, Life University, this Chris Ruffin. I was wondering, could I still send my transcripts over? I know it's been a year and a half or 2 years, but you guys still, oh man, Mr. Ruffin, you still valid. Your scores are up to date. We would love to have you.
Wow.
You're a doctoral student, so we got apartments on campus, such and such. So now I got a game plan. I'm using medical school to get to the dream. I never went to medical school to be a doctor. That's what people don't know. I used the medical school as my support because I didn't have the support to get there. So instead of me giving up and giving in, I said, well, let me use this, get to medical school. Now, Chris, when you get there, let's show an honest effort. So it ain't like I dropped out or nothing like that. I went to class, made good grades, did everything I needed to do. It just was hard because when you're trying to be a medical doctor or a doctor, it's kind of hard when you got to work a job and all that. I'm just going to be honest with you. So I found myself, you know, working at the gas station. Then I ended up getting a teaching job in Atlanta. This is the whole time while I'm at the medical school. Then an opportunity came. Man seen me in the mall. Like, man, you don't model or nothing? You look like a model. I'm like, well, yeah. So I ended up doing some stuff with J.C. Penney's. This in Atlanta while I'm in medical school. Things started picking up for me. Then I landed a national TV show. And they made me the lead role on it. Fatal Attraction. I played a guy named Lionel Carter. At this point, I'm like, shit. And it got so busy that I went to medical school. And then that last semester, I said, you know what, Chris? You need to find just a good job that's going to be flexible and focused. So I didn't drop out. I left medical school on good standards, but I just said, man, this is too much money to be wasting. Because at the initial time, people would say that's dumb, but I had a game plan. It wasn't dumb for me because that was my only way to be in Atlanta. You see what's going on? So I had to make good grades just because I needed a place to stay. It wasn't about me being a medical doctor. That was my livelihood. So I had to go to class. You see what's going on? I had to make sure I met the requirements to stay in the medical school because you make a C more than twice, you send home. That's how it roll out. It's that type of ball flu. So that's what happened. And I found some people. They ended up letting me rent a back room. Now I'm transitioning and I'm moving in Atlanta. And then from that point, that's a little bit of the story. So from that point, I'm maneuvering in Atlanta. I'm working at the gas station overnight. Now I got an agent. I'm just picking up. Boom, boom, boom. I'm studying just boom, pounding. And opportunity came up for me to move to LA after being in Atlanta about 3.5 years. Packed up my car, told my roommates bye, put everything in. I had a yellow Eclipse. You couldn't even see out the back window. I drove from Atlanta all the way to LA. With everything I own in the back of an Eclipse. I'm talking about everything.
Wow.
So, the story gets deep. He ended up going to LA, staying for about 2 or 3 years. It got shaky out there. Had to come back to Dallas, went back to LA, and then I ended up moving back to Dallas about 7 years ago because me and my family, we got a family business and things like that. So that's how I wound up back in Dallas. Not trying to run with the conversation, but yeah.
No, let me tell you, like my questions in the structure that I have that I'm looking at on my screen with my notes, like you're on point. Like I don't have to ask any questions. You're literally right on point. But your story is so inspiring. And I'm sitting here in awe because we have traveled along almost the same road. And I'm just like, that's because I modeled for J.C. Penney's. I ran track. I played basketball.
Yeah.
Like I was in The Wire. I started off acting like that's just it. I modeled. So I'm just like, wow, it's like my brother. Like we did.
Yeah, it just was leading. And then I came back. Yeah, I came back to Dallas. And at this point, I started getting more stuff. You get what I'm saying? Because now I'm moving to Atlanta. It's for acting gigs and doing stuff like that. And I ended up had to come back to Dallas. So I ended up using my degree to teach for a while because I had to get back on my feet. So I taught biology for Dallas Independent School District for a while. I taught math. I taught at some of the best charter schools here as well, and all that good stuff. And that's kind of how my story went. Forward, like the moving around, just taking one step at a time. Sometimes, stepping back, regrouping, and just recognizing, opportunity and certain blessings when they appear. So that's how that happened for me, and I just never stopped. No matter what, I done tried probably everything you can think of to go to these places and make things happen. I just stayed with complete strangers, like literally.
That's the key.
I didn't know from Adam.
You gotta keep trying. You gotta keep trying, and that's what a lot of people don't understand.
And it worked out in my favor. So I look back and I'll be like, man, I only can imagine if I would have, what would have happened if I didn't go to Vegas? I don't know what would have happened. Yeah, it all started with me taking that leap of faith. I said, oh, you know what? You're right, man. I'm going to go give it a shot. If it don't work out after a year or two, I consider, you know, medical school to be there. And I went, and that door opened. And then other doors started opening. And that led to other things. New York Fashion Week. And from that point, I'm just meeting people, and study just was applying pressure, and it just.
Yeah. So you were on Being Mary Jane too, weren't you?
Mm-hmm.
How was that experience? Because I love that.
Cool. I got to meet Gabrielle Union. I worked with a guy named Chris Brew. A lot of stuff. I did Survival Remorse with Mike Epps. I done a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So you walked for New York Fashion Week. How was that? So with the modeling, so I know you mentioned that you did some modeling. So how did that branch off? Like what
modeling happened? That was another actually leap of faith.
Yeah.
Dude saw me on Instagram, was like, man, you got a good look, man. Like you ever done New York Fashion Week and stuff? He said, I'm gonna be honest, they told me to see if I knew people. And I'm like, I don't know these people from Adam. And I'm like, is this real or like, I don't know. So me, I'm a type of person, I can be a risk taker at times. I'm a kid at the time. And I'm like, man, I've never been to New York. I don't know nobody. It's just like you on Instagram and you write me and say, well, I know the directors and stuff. And I'm telling you, with your height and your look, you just need to get here. They'll cash you, man. And I'll work with you. I take a leap of faith, fly to New York, sleep on your couch in a blizzard. Nobody in New York. Turns out everything that you said was true. You wasn't no bad person. You didn't try me on no sick stuff. You turned out everything that you said, all because I took that leap of faith, went in audition. They loved me, got to walk that New York Fashion Week. Rest was history. Every New York Fashion Week since I get to walk.
So amazing. Because a lot of they don't understand how huge that is. Because I worked at New York Fashion Week and I did DC Fashion Week and I got invited to Paris Fashion Week, but COVID happened, so I didn't get to go. And I don't think people really understand, like a lot of times when, like you said, things like that are presented, and I need to say this because you said it perfectly. You have to take the leap of faith.
Yeah, because
you could have been like, this person on Instagram, a lot of people hit me up in my DMs, me saying this and this and that, but you never know what blessing.
No, I think they turned out to be a blessing. Turned out to be one of my best friends to this day.
So small.
I learned New York, got to see things I never would see. And this person at the time, I'm talking about living in a place where most people wouldn't even go. I'm talking about the worst part of the Bronx. Yeah. I'm a kid, never even seen New York. I'm catching this train. I'm walking. I still had a video where I'm in New York by myself in the blizzard, like looking at a map, like, oh my God, I don't even know how to get from the Bronx to Manhattan. Never rode a subway. These are all the experiences that made me who I am today. That's why I'm not scared of nothing but God himself.
That's amazing.
Nothing, scared of nothing. I done been in every situation. Not saying every, because I'm not trying to put myself, but I done been in a lot of situations that most people just wouldn't know how to maneuver in. Bare minimum, at the time, finances, because I was just a person coming up. So I'm in New York. You're in New York with $80 and don't know nobody.
Yep.
The only person, your faith rely on a person you met on social media who you did this your first time meeting them. You
gotta walk by faith. You gotta walk by faith.
It worked all in my favor.
Yeah. You gotta be so secure in your footsteps. I say that all the time when I do.
And I learned stuff, and now when I go, I know everything. Now if you look at all this past, now it's like, man, think about it. That's why you went through this. That's why you went through that. That's why you do this. Now you can go, you can do however you want to do it. So it's all about that. Yeah, people don't understand that though.
Absolutely. And you have to check out his Instagram, guys. The link, all his links are down in the bio. But just to let you know, like, he didn't walk in one of them little sideshows for New York Fashion Week, because I need people to understand, when you walk for Fashion Week and when you go to fashion weeks, LA Fashion Week, Atlanta Fashion Week, Miami Fashion Week, they got Swim Week. It's a lot of different fashion weeks.
Yeah, and it was mind-boggling because my first show, Sabrina, was at Madison Square Garden in front of probably 30,000 people.
And that's what I'm saying.
30,000 people.
It could be Fashion Week. You could go to a New York Fashion Week show and it could be 75 people in the room, and that's how small the show is. Yeah. But then there's shows like your show. That's what I want you to understand.
That right there just took.
You walked in one of the biggest shows.
Yeah, one of the biggest shows at the time. I didn't even realize what was going on. That's what James, the man who helped me. And he was like, man, you don't even realize what you just did, right, Chris? And
Yes.
then I got back that night, and when I was on the couch, I was like, damn, I got this many business cards. These all people.
Yeah.
Off that one leap of faith. Now I got 30 people for the next year. I get to pick and choose who I want to walk for because I took that initial step.
Yeah.
And then all those people that are watching me, now that one step then turned into just a shitload of opportunity, all because of that leap of faith. I went to go walk for Sabrina, but it was 50 other people that are looking for people too. Yeah. So now that's how it goes. So that's what I did. And I mean, it's been a process, and that's how I just, I use one stepping stone to take something to another stepping stone. So I tell people, or the people who are on here, just because you're doing something, that don't mean that it might not be working out, but that don't mean that it's getting you to something else. So you have to learn how to take a step. Like I said, a prime example is what I said with basketball. I didn't go to the NBA, but look what that basketball did. It opened up another door. That door gave me free education. That door did that. So you got to be smart enough to recognize how to boom. Yeah, I didn't become a doctor, but look what the medical school did for me. You see what's going on here? Yeah, so it worked its purpose.
Exactly.
To get to me where I needed to be. And a lot of people don't think like that. Oh, man, you went to medical school and you failed. No, I did not. Medical school opened that door. I wouldn't even be who I am today if I wouldn't have had that window to even go in there. Maybe God didn't have it for me to finish medical school. Maybe he knew Chris wasn't going to have nowhere to stay. So let me path his life out so he will have a place to stay to get to the next level. So that's how I think. A lot of people don't think like that, but maybe that's why I'm single, Sabrina.
Well, we're going to talk about that too. But yes, definitely trust your steps. You have to trust the process. Don't ask questions. Just say, my gut, my intuition, like something is guiding me in this direction. It don't look right. It don't feel right, but it's a reason why you're being led that way. And you have to trust it, because I'm very spiritual. So it's like, yes, everything you're saying is on point. So I completely understand, because I come from the same place that you come from. We are absolutely cut from the same cloth. So I get it. Wow. Right. Okay. So moving forward, you have a company called Cruft.
Yeah. Cruft Up.
Cruft Up.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about that. So, because I don't want to get into it. I mean, I have my questions, but tell us a little bit about that company that you have.
Well, Cruft, it all happened because, like, I ran cross country. I was a super small guy. I ran cross country and track, so that requires you to be super skinny. As an adult, my smallest weight probably was 145, 140. So when I graduated college, I was super little, like 155 pounds. I always wanted to get into weightlifting. But if you know anything about track and field and cross country, I was more on the distance side of running. It's hard to maintain weight, and you really don't have to do strength training. It's more just running every day, running. So I was like, wanted to get more into strength training and all that. So over the past year or so, I've been, I changed my diet, started lifting heavy weights, got more into the gym side for learning how to, put on muscle mass and stuff like that. And I hear people say, I was just thinking one time, and this came to me. I hear a lot of people say, get buffed up, because people call me Cruft, but my name is not Cruft. It was C Rough. But everywhere I go, people will see me and be like, hey, what up, Cruft? And I'll be like, Cruft. And I'd be somewhere, and then I even be, because I spend a lot of time, I don't have a lot of friends. So even me and my uncle, we might go somewhere. He'd be like, man, what are they talking about, Cruft? And I'd be like, I think they talking to me, because it's not Cruft. It's C Rough came from Chris Ruff. But when I see people, they don't read it that way. They're like, what up, Cruft?
They crap, yeah.
So I got so used to it that I was like, you know what, man? I'm just going to roll with Cruft.
I like Cruft.
And that's what my mama said. I like it. So I was dating this girl a long time ago, and she used to call me her little Crufty there. Hey, Crufty. And I was like, okay. And I was like, well, it seemed like everybody liked Cruft. So I was thinking, and I was like, well, instead of get buffed up, let's get Cruft up.
Cruft up. Yeah.
So that's how I initially came with the name. Let's get Cruft up. And I took it and ran with it, because I started doing a lot of stuff, started actually gaining weight. So I figured out a plan, started working with people, because I'm really good with science and stuff like that. That's why I did. So I came up with a plan, implemented a plan. And over the past year, I gained 55, 60 pounds of size. Last year, I was 100 and less than 160 pounds. Today, I'm 215.
Wow.
Yeah. So I end up saying, okay, I want to show people who's slimmer and want to gain natural weight how they can do it. I end up talking to some people I know that work in labs, and we end up coming up with different mixtures that I'm currently working on. And I wanted to start my own fitness brand because I'm big on fitness. I've been an athlete my whole life, just not from the weightlifting side, but all I knew was sports as well. So I wanted to get into that, and that's what happened. I took it and hit the ground running and opened up the business, and it's still getting going and getting started, but it's something that's growing. I love fitness, and I see it growing into something great. So I just went on and solidified it so it won't get away. So yeah, Cruft, that's how that came about. Cruft Up.
Wow. So what kind of products do you sell?
I sell mass gainer. We sell a detox tea, a multivitamin, energy drink, just the whole shebang. We trying to have everything. So yeah, the mass gainer, if you're just trying to pick up natural muscle mass, detox tea, really healthy tea for people who want to detox, good for your gut and all that good stuff. Multivitamin for men and women, and an energy drink, something similar, not maybe as strong as a Red Bull or Monster, but somewhere in between that lines. Cruft Up energy. So we just, starting with those products first, and hopefully it can grow into more.
Wow. Do you sell apparel?
Yes, I'm working on apparel. I got t-shirts and stuff now, hats and all that good stuff. It's going to be a link on the Cruft page soon where people can go and start purchasing pump covers, hats, and all that stuff. For those who don't know what a pump cover is, that's the big t-shirt that everybody wears in the gym that look like a nightgown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. How did you, because I saw the logo and you guys are going to have to check out, the link is in the bio for Cruft's Instagram. How did you come up with that logo?
That logo, I put a mixture of me and Mr. T. I took Mr. T concept and I kind of like this. So at the time I had the little mini afro. So actually the logo is changing. The logo is going to be that same logo, but he's going back to the short haircut.
Okay.
Because at the time I had the little mini afro. So I created my muscle man. And actually, a fun fact, that's how I ideal want to look. His body type, his body frame, that's my goal, what I'm going for. So I created and I didn't want my face to be the person. I feel like a lot of people open businesses and they do it just because they want to be seen and stuff and feel like their face got to be on everything. And I do film and stuff, so I didn't want to take that aspect from it. I said, I'm about to create an avatar. That's who's going to be on the billboards. That's who's going to be on the shirts.
Right.
Unless you know me, you won't even know that's me. So that Cruft Up man is the face of Cruft.
Right.
That's who I want. I don't want my physical face on nothing when it comes to that, unless I'm posting a workout video on the page and actually working with a client or something like that. But for his branding, that's why I made him, came up with that concept, because I want him to be the forefront. That's what I want to push.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I'm like a marketing genius, but what would be really, really cute too, like say for instance, if you did your logo, but you did it in like a cartoon kind of aspect with you like doing like a commercial.
Yeah, absolutely. I got some of that in the works. It's funny you say that. I got some of that in the works too. Yeah, I got the Cruft AI. I got all type of stuff going.
Yeah, that would be so cool because like, I mean, your brain, the way, so I get it. Yeah, I think that would be cool. You should absolutely do that.
Yeah, we're working on all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. Okay. Wow, that's amazing. Okay. So with that, so with Cruft, so you have the apparel and you have the products that you named. Is it anything else that you want to discuss that you're working on that you can talk about that's going to be coming soon in the near future past the apparel?
With Cruft or just in general?
Just with Cruft.
Just Cruft. We just trying to get it in stores. I got some stores that's going to let me do some pop-up shops. I'm talking with people such as GNC and other stores, Vitamin Shop. Some of my business partners, they're helping me as well. So we're really trying to do big things with Cruft. We're going to be giving out samples. It's going to get to the point where I'm going to start hiring models. And I don't want to be the person on the pictures and the billboard. I want to hire people from there. I want to be able working on giving people promo codes and stuff. So when I actually get the products out and start selling them, I want to have brand ambassadors in the whole shebang, just like whey protein and everything else. I mean, they literally started the same way. They just grew their brand. So I'm literally on the same tip, doing the same thing, spreading fitness, spreading love, and really helping people at the same time. We want to get into that lane and putting money in people's pocket, because whoever sell my products, they're going to have it where every time someone shop, you get a percentage. So I want to help people make money as well.
And that's the information that I'm glad that you said that we need to know. Absolutely. Okay. Okay. That's good to know. That's good to know. Okay. Wow. That's amazing. Now, are your products just for men or women or both?
I'm going to be both. I'm
Okay.
definitely working on both. Right now, the apparel that I'm working on is for men, but I'm most definitely going to make some stuff for women. Like I said, it's a work in progress because I have a lot going on. But it's going to be amazing. I got a lot of friends who are professional athletes. They working in with me and stuff like that. Trying to get some people to help me partner up with the UFC actually. So I'm working on that. It's a lot of stuff in the work, and I'm just taking my time. It's not it's a marathon. I'm not because I want everything to be right. But most definitely, that's what I'm working on building towards my fitness and all that good stuff.
Okay. Good. Good. That's so exciting. I'm so excited for you.
I appreciate
Congratulations
it.
on that. Yeah. All right. So let's move forward and let's talk about the show a little bit. They're not hard questions, and I'm not even going to ask you too many questions about it
Oh
because
no, you fine.
yeah, that's not what this interview is about. What this interview is about is exactly everything that you just told us, and it's such a great interview thus far. So I just want to say that. All right, so when you got accepted, so they were like, congratulations, we want you on the show, but you're going to be a curveball. How did you feel about that?
Oh, I kind of liked it. They was like, we got something special for you. We got something special for you, Chris. I was like, what do you mean you got something special for me? It was like, I'm gonna do the curveball. And I was like, yeah, okay. I didn't really think a lot of it because me, I'm a confident person. So I just took it as like, okay, they say they got something special for me. I'm coming in at this curveball. Let's see how it goes. So I took it as like, okay, maybe this is a good thing. That's initially when I found out I was going to be the curveball. I was like, okay, let's see. Okay.
Because you don't know.
I didn't know all the details of the curveball at that point. I just knew at this point I would be coming in later in the season and I was going to shake up the room.
Do you feel like if you would have come on at the very beginning, things would have turned out differently for you?
Absolutely. I feel like I would have been more comfortable. I feel like people could have got to see a lot more of my personality.
Yeah.
And when I say more comfortable, I feel like when I got there, I'm a super I pay attention to stuff. So I was like, man, this is about to be kind of tricky. I could feel the energy when I walked in. I'm like, some of these people already, I could tell, people up, they know each other. They already set in stone. I'm the new guy. So I'm feeling this energy kind of on both ends. Not saying I feel like the cast was amazing on both ends, but I could feel it. I said, okay, this is about to be tough. Then that's how I'm thinking walking into the process. I wonder what these women gonna think of me, and I know I got to meet some dudes. So I know they can be just as worse as the women sometimes. So I'm sitting here like, man, don't just expect, be prepared for the worst, Chris. Be prepared to, it might be some jealousy. It might be some like, who he think he is, who is this guy? And that can come from both sides of the spectrum, men and women. Because men don't like when a man walk in the room and they all been there. You got 10 guys who barbecue every Saturday. Now you got the new guy who come in. It go both ways. So I thought like that before going in. But I feel like I was ready for it.
So when you walked in and you saw the group of women, did you think to yourself when you looked around the room and you talked to a couple of them, did you at one point ever say and think to yourself, I'm gonna meet my wife here?
No. I mean,
he said, no.
No, I didn't say that. I'm not gonna.
I get it.
I didn't say that. I most definitely didn't say that. When I came in, I was like, okay, let's see what this is about. Now I tell this story. I done been on some interviews, and I tell people I did get excited because I even told Lee this to her face. I had been following Lee on social media for a while. I don't know if she had followed me, but I knew kind of her and was like, okay. So when I was walking to the initial first time that I got to meet people, I didn't really see her face, but I saw like the side. And I'm on the phone with my friend and I'm outside. I'm like, man, I think this girl that I follow, I think she a part of this journey, man. I don't know if that's her, but it looks spot on from a distance.
from the
When
South.
I actually got in there and saw it was her, that kind of shifted my mood. I was like, okay. I thought she was a cutie pie and all this stuff. So I said, okay, this might turn out good. I see one person that I already had didn't know her, but I had seen her before. So I didn't think the process was that kind of made me feel good, I can say, initially going into the process, because that was at the flag football game. That was the first time I met any of the cast. I didn't meet the whole cast at first. Right. That was my first time meeting. I think I met Unique, I met Aries, I met Lee, I met Herbert, Red, and myself. So that made me feel good. Like, okay, I can't wait to meet the rest of the people. If I know this familiar face, it might be other people that I know as well. So that kind of made things go kind of smooth going into the initial first meet.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, so if you felt like that about Lee, like what happened? Why didn't?
Well, I didn't say feel. I mean, that kind of broke the ice for us. Like, because you had feel. I'm like, man, I'm about to walk in here. I don't know who about to be in here.
But why didn't you pursue her though? Like, why didn't?
Well, on the show, I didn't pursue her because I feel like I came in late. I feel like I thought she already had a connection, and that was my fault. Because when I realized honestly what was going on, it was kind of too late. For it's like, I was like, damn, I'm really supposed to be dating all these women at one time. That's why it's not working out. Because I kind of was like, I can truly say throughout the process, I wasn't talking to all of the ladies at one time. You see what's like, yeah, like I text one, but I really wouldn't reach out to the other women as much because I kind of had the concept wrong at first. Because I had actually watched the show. But I'm not gonna sit here and act like I was just a ready to love fanatic and had watched every episode and knew how everything go in the flow of things. I did the show honestly because I'm 34 years old. I am single. I felt like it would be a great opportunity for me. So I initially went into the show saying, hey man, I hope I find love and meet somebody because you're at that point in your life. But if it don't work out, it's still a great opportunity. Go in and present yourself as a good person. You got a lot going for yourself, Chris. Go in and present all of that, and hopefully you can meet a nice lady as well. So I'm not going to be one of these people who say, oh, I just went on there just hoping and just know I was looking for love. I was looking for love, but I also went on there and understood the other side too. Well, Chris, it's a great opportunity. I pray I find love in the process as well. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of my mindset going into the initial journey.
Mm-hmm. So after being there a few weeks, was it anyone that you kind of had your eye on that you wish things could have grown into something, or no?
No. After seeing I saw some women, I say, okay, this person's nice, that person's nice. I kind of made some misconceptions and thought, like I said, with the Lee situation, it ain't that I didn't want to pursue her. I think somebody already did pretty much clamp.
What happened to you walking by faith, Chris?
I'm 4 weeks late. Because me, I don't like to feel played now. I'm that type of guy. If I want something, I want it. So I don't really like. I was like, I don't want to just put all this energy out here. Then I turn out.
You and Lee could be married right now, Chris.
You think so? Nah, it wasn't that serious. I mean, when it comes to that.
How you not drop the ball on nothing else in life and you like, nope, I came in too late, I give up. What?
Well, I didn't say I give up. I just feel like my biggest problem is I will say I see people on the journey and be like, I kind of feel like they already got a connection in this and that. What kind of like, that's why I messed up it. So I'm not taking saying that I wasn't done wrong on the process, but I'll take responsibility for that.
Because you didn't know how the dynamics was.
The dynamics was all the way, it kind of, And when I started getting like, man, it was too late. I was like,
Yeah, this is a dating show. She could have been dating 6 out of 10 dudes, and you supposed to be like, well, I'm gonna be number 7.
That's true.
It made the best man win. Like that's how the dynamics really is.
But the thing about it is, I'm like a reciprocated person, so I was showing energy to the people who showed energy to me too, and that's what really I went that way. So it was like if Sabrina texting me at night, if Sabrina calling me, that's who I'm giving my time to. I'm using that as you see what I'm saying? Like I'm responding to who respond to me. And maybe that's why I messed up it too on the process, because it was like, okay, well, I text this person, they didn't text me back. I text this person, they took 2 days to text me back, and you don't have to worry about me.
You were looking for reciprocation. I'm sure like you're like that too in real life, because
I'm like in real life. So
yeah,
like not bringing her name up, that was one thing Unique was good at. Like she communicated. So that's why me and her actually, you know, we was cool and kind of talked a little bit more, because she was one of those people, like if I text, she gonna text back. If I say good morning or something, I'll get a good morning back. Then you have other people on the show, I might say something back and it might take you a day or two to respond or whatever. And I'm the type of person, like I'm a Sagittarius. That's you know, so it was a lot of that going on as well. And I feel like I shouldn't have let that type of stuff get under my skin, and probably should have just kept, you know, trying to pursue or reach out to more of the ladies on the process.
Yeah, because, you know, we're in that, you know, day and age now where women are like, they want to be courted. They want to have that interest shown. And I can't speak for myself. I'm kind of different, but yeah. So women nowadays, they absolutely want you to kind of chase them, you know, and think that, and that's just the reality of it. And I think that maybe that was the mentality on the show, is like, if he shows me interest, but like you said, you reached out, but like you said, the reciprocation definitely has to be there too.
Yeah, it's like with a lot of ladies on the show, like I'll reach out, but I'm not about to, I'm sorry, I'm not going to keep reaching out. Like after I reach out a few times, it's done.
Yeah, no fact.
You don't have to worry about me no more. I'm not reaching out no more. And that's just me.
Chris, I was on the show, like literally, I felt like in the mornings when I felt like I was like, hey, beautiful, I mean, handsome. Like it was to the point where I was texting them and they were doing what the women did to you. That's what they were doing. And I was like, what the hell? I was like, why am I going after them? And I said it. I mean, it was shown on screen, so it's not like it's a secret, you know. So I was like, why am I going after? So, honey, DC men are just different. But yeah, so it's like
I was getting a lot of that, and I feel like that played a key as well, because I'm the type of person, like, I'm gonna reach out a few times, but that good morning text, after I get one or two no good mornings back, you're not getting a good morning from me.
Which makes sense though, because
you're not getting none of that.
A lot of women don't understand is like it has to be reciprocated. A man is not going to continue to pursue you. He doesn't feel like it's going to go anywhere.
Yeah, I'm not that guy to play like that. Yeah, I'm not gonna text you at noon and you text me back at 8 o'clock and think that's cool. I'm just using that as an example, man. Cool.
Yeah. They want you to do the courting. They want you to do the pursuing. I said courting, but they want you to do the pursuing. But at least, like you guys, we want you to put the initiative, like take the initiative.
Yeah, exactly.
Then, you know, we'll follow.
And I don't mind chasing, but I like to know that my chase is not going unnoticed. Like, give me something to chase. Like, I don't mind chasing, but I don't want to be a fool either. And only a fool is going to chase something and not get nothing back. Right. If I'm chasing, I'm hoping to catch one day. I'm chasing you down. I want to catch. So I'm not going to keep running. I'm like, man, you ain't going to never catch that. You never going to catch that person. I don't care how fast you run. So I'm one of those people, like, I'm just going to shut it down right here. And I feel like I had that mindset, and I shouldn't have had that mindset on the journey. And I feel like if I wouldn't have had that mindset, I probably would have made it a lot further on the journey. But it was a learning experience for me as well, too, as well.
So, Chris, let me say this. A woman that wants to be caught, she will let you catch her. Like it's not that hard. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
we ought to be having so much going on. I'm honest, it's easy to lose my attention because I got so much stuff going on. People have no clue for it. Just like I do a lot. I do a lot with family. I do a lot. So I mean, it's like I don't have time to be like, I'm the type of person like, okay, that's a dub. Next.
Right.
And when I say next, it ain't necessarily mean I'm going to the next woman. Just mean, hey, let's get this situation out the way. That's my thought process, because you got too much other stuff going on, and you know you're not about to keep texting this person and not reciprocate the same energy. And I'm not just talking about the show. That's just in a real world setting as well.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna keep doing that over and over again and feel like it's not coming back. So, but it was cool. But to answer your question for is like, when I walked in, I didn't see any women that I like, oh, okay, I see marriage. I saw, okay, when I met Janelle, I was like, okay, she's a pretty lady. I feel like our first date went well. I really did. because we didn't have no problems on the first date. She didn't say anything disrespectful to me, and I didn't say any disrespectful things to her. But when you're coming in as the curveball, it's just like a college. You hear it's like a big college almost. You hear rumors, such and such saying this, and then I'm coming in late, so I don't know what to believe.
What's going on?
And then I'm one of those people. That's just me. If I didn't see it for myself, I'm not believing it. I don't judge people unless I experienced it. Maybe they was with you that way because that's the way they felt about you, and that's the energy that you gave them. So that's what they reciprocated back to you. So I try to give everybody a fair shot, regardless of what anybody says about a person, unless I experienced that myself. So everybody, Janelle might have been a rude and this, and you hear things through the grapevine, but I never experienced that my initial first date. So I didn't put her into that category because I didn't have that my first date experience. You see what's going on? But when you coming in as the curveball, you hearing all type of stuff from both sides of the fence, from the men's side, the women's side. I'm in the lounge sometimes. I don't know who to vote for. I don't want to vote the wrong way because I don't want the fellas feeling this type of way because I'm new to the process, and then I don't want the women to feel some type of way. Then I don't want to mess up nobody else's connection because that's not fair because I'm just not coming in. So who is me to say? I never had a chance to chill with none of these women. So if you say, I'm using you as an example, if y'all saying Sabrina is this way, well, I'm the newbie in here. I guess 4 guys are not lying. Let me go and take that vote too then. You see what's going on? So it's a lot of that going on too. It's a tough situation to be in.
Yes. You know what that's called? You know what? Everything you just said, you know what that's called? It's called strategy. That's all that was. Because I always say my season was like Game of Thrones. Absolutely.
It's a tough situation to be in.
Trying to steer you and steer you into a certain direction.
Yeah, because I might be in the lounge and say, well, I feel like such and such should go home. You start getting people clearing their throat and everything. You see what? And then it's like, well, did I say the wrong thing? Because rightfully so, Chris could be wrong because Chris haven't been here for 3-4 weeks. I'm just not walking in. So such and such really might be this way, or maybe such and such not that way. Or maybe they trying to deter me from talking to such and such because they want such and such.
They plant
all of this running through your head. So it's like, okay, Chris, let's see who's showing you the energy. That's how I went about it.
Right.
You talk to these women, let's see who feed into you more. And the women who fed into me more, I'm not ashamed to say it. Like I say, I used to speak to Unique. She'll always reach back out to me. Kira, she reached out to me and stuff like that. I'm just naming a few people who I know that reciprocated the energy for it. Like if I text you, they'll text back. If I call, they'll call back and that type of stuff. So there was a lot of that going on. So I just tried to maneuver it the best way I could because you coming in blindsided.
Right.
Literally.
So let me just say this. It is 107 of you guys in the chat right now and watching. Thank you for showing up for Chris. If you have not liked this video, make sure you like the video. But I'm going to say this to you, Chris. It's 107 people in here. And I want to say it's probably about 98 women that are like, the whole time you've been on live, I've been watching the chat. The whole time you've been on screen. They love your voice, honey. You are fine, fine, fine. You are educated. How did they
go? Tell them we working the chest. We get a little big. Hey, another year we're gonna be there.
Honey, no, they want you just as you are. Okay.
I appreciate it. I tell them I say thank you. For some
you.
reason I can't see the chat, but thank everyone. I appreciate all the love and support for sure.
Yeah, so they want to know, and they've been wanting to know at least for the last, how long we've been on? An hour and 9 minutes. They've been wanting to know at least the last hour and 7 minutes. We've been on for an hour and 9 minutes. Are you single? You mentioned you're single. Are you dating?
I'm single. I'm 100% single. And I wouldn't even say dating. There's a few people that I converse with every now and then, just talk on the phone or maybe text a little bit, but I'm currently single. Don't have anyone that I'm 100% committed to. Don't have nothing to hide. So yes, 100% single.
Are you willing to travel outside of Dallas to find your queen?
Yeah, for sure. I prefer traveling outside of Dallas to find my queen. It's tough finding a queen in Dallas, but I like Dallas women, doesn't it? But I mean,
Right.
excuse me, I don't limit myself because you don't know what God got for you somewhere. And that go with anything, woman or whatever. If I'd limit myself, half of the stuff that we just talked about wouldn't even be true. I'd still be in this box. Or like where I grew up in Mississippi, it's a great place, so much talent, but a lot of people don't know how to step outside that frame. So you have to pick within your frame, and that's where you mess up a lot of times. So I look at that with my love as well. I'm not, if I meet a woman in Dubai, that might be the love of my life. She could be in Canada. That might be the love of my life. I've dated women from other states. I've dated and been in relationships where I had to travel and vice versa. Do I want someone that I can see every day? Of course. And I feel like if we get that serious at my age, we should be adult and old enough to make that happen. Right. Work towards a goal where we can make that happen. So I don't limit my dating to Dallas at all.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, and this is just in reference, but I want you to speak more from your point of view. Like, I know on the show, Sierra was like, I like Birkin bags. So what kind of woman are you looking for? What do you look for in your partner? And the partner that you're looking for, your next partner, is it long-term? Are you looking for marriage? You looking for settle down, kids? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, the next person that I'm with, I'm most definitely looking for marriage. I'm 34. I'll be 35 in November next month. Mom on me all the time. Like, Chris, you gonna ever give me a grandchild? Because I only have one biological sibling. And she's 30 something as well. And she don't have any children. My lovely sister, Lacey, she lives in Atlanta, esthetician. I don't have any kids. So I get that question a lot. Like, Chris, is gonna get a grandchild? So I'm most definitely the next woman that I date. I'm dating with full purpose, to, get to know, let them understand everything about me and vice versa and grow into something great. I'm not out here just, if that's the case, I can't do it at all. But the next person that I truly see myself being with is most definitely I want to get to know. Hopefully we can build up into a nice relationship, go into the next stage of marriage and all of that with kids and all. Because I'm not going to be, and I'm not saying I want to rush into that, but that's the purpose. That's the goal set, what I want next for me. And I'm not going to date a woman unless I see that potential for sure. But I don't have time to waste, and I don't have time for no setbacks or just wasting time. And when you get older, you realize that you're like, man, I wasted a year with this woman.
Yeah, but that's that chance and risk that you have to take.
But I tell people, you can see those risks. A lot of people don't want to accept it. Every red flag that I've thought in a relationship, I saw it. I just overlooked it. Because you can like a person and be like, damn, is that really?
You can't ignore the red flags, though, in the process.
Not ignore it, but you be like, is they really that way? But I like them.
Yeah.
You want to give it a shot. But really, what you saw is what you really gonna get. So the older I get, I understand that, and I use it. Don't hold it against people. If I see something that I don't like, I ask myself as a man: is that something you're gonna be able to tuck? When I say tuck, will you be able to deal with that without putting that stress on that woman and bringing it to her attention? You already saw what type of side that she might can give. Or are you going to be mature enough to be able to handle that? If so, Chris, let's give it a go. But if it's something that I know gonna bother me and know that it could get iffy down the line, I'm at a point in my life I'm not even messing with it because no one is perfect. So I ask myself that question. Is that something that you can handle, Chris? Something that you're not going to throw on her, even though it's something that you don't like? So those just, questions I ask myself now when I'm dating and things like that.
But this is just a word for you. Don't ever feel like that your relationships that you get into, that they're a waste. Because I do want to say this, every relationship that you get into, it's just, you're growing in those relationships. And that's how you have to look at it.
I wouldn't say a waste. I most definitely use relationships. I use relationships to treat the next relationship better. So it's been stuff that I've got from other relationships that made me better with the next person. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'm at a point now where I am 35. I'm at the midpoint before I'm 40. So the next person I get, I do need to think like that because I don't have a kid. I know they say that men have all that, but I'm not trying to be this old man raising kids and doing all of that. I'm already 35. So I just take that stuff more serious now. In 5 years, I'll be 40 years old. And honestly, if I don't have a kid by 40, shit.
No, don't say that. Don't say, you never know the cards that are dealt. You just have to lay your hand and trust the process. You never know, because that blessing might not come until you're 42, 43, and you're going to look back and say, you know what, I said at 40 I wasn't going to have, and look at what I have.
Well, I'm not saying gonna have. I'm saying that's not ideal. I want to meet a lady and hopefully have a kid within the next 2 to 3 years. That's my goal set.
Yeah,
I would love to have a child by 38, and that, I feel like I'm on the path to being always complete as I want to be. I feel like that'll be great. Now, like you said, it's very true. But I do set up goals and stuff for me. I like to plan things, and not saying you can plan a baby, but I like to have that right type of direction. Hey, Chris, hopefully you can meet someone, and hopefully by this time or whatever. I don't mind dating women with children. I've dated women with kids as well. I can't date a lady with like a super young child. I've tried that. That's just not my thing. Like,
what's your age range?
The baby needs to at least be.
No, not the baby, the woman. He like, well, it's from 6.
That baby need to be walking. Yeah, I don't need nothing with a bottle. Nothing I need to hold. Let's see mine.
No.
No, I'm just messing with you. You funny.
So because someone asked in the chat, one of the
what's the age range?
Yeah.
Me. I don't want to say that, but I've dated as young as, I try not to go too young. 25.
Okay. 26,
maybe 25. And I've dated women close to 48. So my range is really, I don't really like. If I like a person, I like a person, because I've met women who 49 years old who look just like us, super young and vibrant. So I've dated women who are older. So I don't really say I have an age range. I just want somebody who's gonna treat me right, and someone who understands me, and really we can get to know each other and grow. So I don't really put a age cap on things of that nature. But I don't want like no super young girl or nothing like that. But I'm just saying, I have dated
either.
So. Yeah, I don't want her too old. But I have dated. I don't really have a window.
Okay, that's
like,
good.
Yeah, so I'm open to dating someone as long as they're mature, at least 25. I mean, I ain't trying to go too young.
Yeah,
and I don't want someone that's extremely old. Right. But I have dated a woman who's close to 48. So I have, my range is,
yeah, absolutely. I get it. I was getting ready to say age is definitely not nothing but a number. You know what I mean? Because us 48-year-olds out here looking good, just like them.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, and so I don't really, that's why I say I don't really have, I can't say that I have like a range, because I've dated multiple age ranges, and I really enjoyed dating multiple age ranges, for if the woman was older than me or a little younger than me. So I can't really say that, because like you said, age really is just a number.
Yeah, it's the energy and connection that's what's important. And the reason I'm saying that is because there's a lot of women that's in the chat right now that are young, and there's a lot of, my age range here on my channel, the women, my audience is like 30 to like 60. So you have those women that watch this, and they all love you, right? Not all of them, but it's like 90% of the women, and they're all different age groups.
I never dated.
They want to know. They want to know.
So I would say, honestly, 25 to 50 I've dated in that range. So that'll be a good, And when I say that range, I haven't went over that number, but I've dated older and younger and around my age group before. So I don't,
Okay, so, and you're saying that you are, of course, the end goal, you want to get married, you want to have kids. So say, for instance, you do meet someone that's 48 years old. She don't have no kids, let's say. You and her together, you're madly in love. You're like, this is your woman. Would you have a baby with her? That's good to know for you 48-year-olds.
Well, I mean, a 48-year-old, I don't see where a 48-year-old lady would be trying to have a baby. And the reason why I'm saying
out there, I'm not one of them, but it's definitely.
No, I'm saying, but I'm not saying I won't, because there's other ways. I've dated older women, and we've talked. Well, if we really get this serious, Chris, we can. It's a million kids out here who need a good mom and dad. There's so many ways you can go about things. So I'm not saying that person is off limit, but if you 48 years old, 50 years old, and don't have a baby, just with the knowledge I have, I don't think that's a healthy choice.
Very important.
And you can't be selfish. And when I say selfish, think about the child. If I'm 50 and I have a baby, I mean, when my kid get 19, I'm almost 70. So now you're not being fair. I'm one of those big people, like, you got to think bigger than yourself. And I'm not saying that person who said that is not. I'm just saying that's my train of thought. Yes. I'm not about to go out at 50 and do that, because first of all, I don't care how healthy you is. Me, have been in the health profession world and know some things. I know that things can go left, especially from a woman's standpoint, when you start going up at 45, 50 years old, having babies and stuff. Reason why? Because I have family members, people I know. I'm from the country. So I've experienced I've seen a lot of different situations. I've seen 48-year-old, 50-year-old women have a baby. I know that that's a risk factor.
Yeah.
On so many levels. So my thing to someone at that age, not saying that's a bad thing, just think about the bigger picture. Think about the overall circumstance, because it's bigger than you. You got to have a baby in this world who one day gonna be on here grown like us. A baby in this world who you want to be healthy and all of that. Not saying your child is not going to be healthy, but you can't tell me that a 50-year-old don't think that there could be a risk with having a baby. So I'm asking, is that fair to that child, knowing that you 50 or 48 years old? Right. And I'm about to have a child, and that child can have underlying health issues, not because you sick. That's just how DNA and that's how the body works for a woman.
Right.
You don't meet too many women that age want to have a child, because even the women I've dated, they're like, well, I know you might want a kid one day or whatever. And I'm that type of person too. I want a child, but I don't necessarily have to have a child. So I'm kind of like in the middle. I want to have a family, but if I met a lady and we didn't have a kid one day, I don't think that would be the end of the world. But I do want children. But if I don't have kids, I won't beat myself up, and that's not the end of the world. I'm one of those people that's just how my heart was dealt. Maybe that's what God wanted for me. It's not a sin not to have a child.
Right.
So that's the way I view it. However my cards dealt, that's fine. But I'm not going to be one of those people. I am a 40-some-year-old man and don't have a kid going to be around here crying like, I can't believe I don't know. That maybe that just wasn't my path. But if I'm a person that got 2 or 3 kids, I'm going to be the great father as well.
Yeah.
Or if I got to be the stepdad, or if I got to be whatever. That's just the way the card was dealt. But honestly, to answer that question, no, I'm not going to have a baby with someone who's 48 years old. That's selfish a little bit.
Yeah.
Because so much it's hit and miss.
Right.
So, and I feel like you're playing with a life at that point. And I wouldn't do no hit and miss with a life,
Right.
Not saying that a young woman can't have a baby and it might have potential health issues. But I promise you, the risk factor for a 50-year-old,
higher,
25 or 30-year-old or something like that is day and night.
Facts. Yes. Your mindset, your thought process, you are spot on. Honey, these women are falling in love with you every time you open your mouth. Okay, so 2 questions. So would you do an all-star season of Ready to Love?
I'll do an all-star season. I like the process. It just was like, I feel like I didn't get a fair shot. It was nothing against Ready to Love. I feel like it was amazing. It was a great experience and all of that stuff. I just feel like they didn't give me a fair shot for it's like getting to see who I really was. Mm-hmm. That's why I feel. I feel like they a lot of people did have connections that was really already set. I mean, Janelle said it best at the reunion. Chris came in late and he needed to beat some people out.
Yeah.
And if he can't beat people out or whatever, so that's telling me right there, like, okay, basically we got guys that we already like, Chris. Now we'll give you a shot to see what you can do. But at the end of the day, just know we already basically got connections made. That's the way she broke it down on the reunion. So I would do an all-star cast because I feel like if I would have had more time and could have opened up more, I feel like the results probably would have been different. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying there's no women that I would have gotten to know on the show. I just feel like they tried to make it seem like I was a salesman, which I'm not. And then, do the editing and everything. They made it seem like I was saying that back to back to back to back. Mm-hmm. In all reality, I'm coming into the process late. I'm just trying to express myself so these women can get to know me, so I won't be left behind the curveball. Because I can promise you this: if I would have came on that process and not said nothing, they would have been saying the complete opposite. Where he came in, he was quiet, he didn't tell us nothing about himself. Tony, we don't know nothing about this guy. Let's send him home.
Yeah.
So you got to play it. If you're going to play it, you got to play it right. Because if I promise you, if I would have went in as the quiet mouse, it would have went that way the same way. So that's why I went in like, hey, they asked me a question. I try to get straight to it. Well, Chris, I do this, I do that, I do this, and I do that. Yeah. So that's more so what it was. I feel like I was playing catch up. I come in the process almost a month later. That means, Sabrina, I'm using you as an example. You already know everybody.
Yeah.
You already know everybody. So it's like, why would I come in and be a church mouse so you can go back and say, well, the new guy came in and he didn't let us know nothing about himself. We tried to get to know him and ask him what he do and all that. Because I feel like when you come in, they wasn't originally talking about love, and then it's like, okay, who's this new guy? Let's get to know you. So I look at it more from that standpoint. Hey, Chris, I'm Chris. I do this. I do that. I'm in this lane of work. We're adults, but we're not children. These are all questions that you would want to know from a grown person. Mm-hmm. So I feel like they took that narrative and kind of ran with it. I most definitely wasn't a salesman. I just was a guy coming in behind the 8 ball and trying to play catch up on both sides of the fence, letting everybody know who I was and actually trying to fit in on both sides of the spectrum. Because just like the women communicate, the guys communicate too. You don't want to be on a process where you just the standoff guy, where don't nobody talk to you, this and that, because you have to fail to realize, I keep mentioning the guys because who you think the women talking to at night?
Right.
The men.
Right.
So if I rub the men the wrong way, they're going to be on the phone with Sabrina tonight.
Yeah.
Man, new guy came in. What you think about him? That's just how it go. A blind man or any fool would think that. So I'm thinking from both sides of the standpoint.
Right. So is it any women from past seasons that you might be interested in? You got to put it out there because they be watching the show. They be watching these interviews.
You said women from past seasons?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be honest. There's a lot of beautiful women from past seasons. Honestly, I don't know their names.
Okay.
I'm not going to sit here and say that I know their names enough to say their names, but I looked at some of the past seasons. I'm like, oh, man, why she wasn't on my season? Or,
yeah.
I think one of them on that new show, she light-skinned. What's her name? On that?
Cherise. That's my girl.
No, let me stop playing. I'm messing with you.
That's my girl.
No, I'm just saying, because I feel like the women they picked on our cast was great. Mm-hmm. But I look at other seasons and be like, man, they gave them like a more selection with this personality or this or that. So I look at some seasons and be like, man, I'm not going to say that it's somebody I would want to talk to, but I look at most definitely some of the other seasons like, man, I would like to have been on this season, or I would like to have been on that season. Mm-hmm. It's funny because I even on the Atlanta one, some of them women I actually knew. It was fun. Wow. Yeah, like some of them in the apartments I stayed in, like I think 2 of them used to live like right next door to me. And I was like, wow, she was on Ready to Love Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I actually used to be cool with her.
Small world.
Small world. Like we never dated or nothing like that, but we most definitely like, hey, Chris, how you doing? Hey. So when I saw it, I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I most definitely would do an all-star if they would allow me to come back if I was single. I would do an all-star and see if I could find love. It wasn't the process of trying to find love on TV. I just feel like, honestly, I feel like they didn't give me a fair shot, Sabrina.
Yeah, they didn't.
They didn't give me a fair shot at all. I feel like they were trying to make a mockery of me. I feel like everything that I was saying, because I have been through a lot, I have experienced a lot at a young age because where I'm from and the way I grew up. And I think they feel like I was woofing a lot too. Like with medical school and all that, I just was being genuine. You asked me something, I'm going to tell you about it. I feel like they said I was lying almost. Like, oh, that got to be too good. I caught too good to be true vibes.
Well, they missed out.
Because I probably be petty and just start posting stuff. Well, let me post back when I used to sit in these long medical classes. Or let me post when I used to do this. But I said, I'm not going to do that. But I kind of felt that type of energy. Like, I think he just running stuff down to us. This is just too much. So I'm not saying that's what they thought. I'm just speaking from my intellect and my spirit of what I picked up on. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I just was like, I didn't get a fair all the way shot.
Yeah. So let me ask you something, because it's a couple of people in the chat that I'm seeing. So you said that you like Sharice.
No, I didn't say I like you. I don't know nothing about, but she's attractive, right?
Right. But so the thing is, do you have a preference? Do you have a preference from women that are darker, women that are lighter? Do you have a preference?
Oh, no, not at all. When I say light, I just think her
nationality.
I like a little, from the little bit I've seen of her personality is kind of stern but sweet. I kind of like that. I don't like women that's just all the way too nice.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say that, I'm not looking for a yes woman. Never, and that's for the women who listening. And guys will never say this, but that yes woman, when I say yes, I'm talking about, it's some women that's yes. That becomes not irritating, but don't no guy want a guy kind of like where he got to figure things out and he on his toes too sometimes. Mm-hmm. So I kind of like that, it's some women I've dated and they would say, it's like I couldn't do no wrong. I'd be like, no, that ain't right. What I did. I'm just saying, not saying I'm out here doing wrong. I'll be like, damn out. I don't kind of like that. I like people who I can, if it makes sense.
Right. Yeah, I get it. So you can have like banter with and stuff like that.
No, absolutely. I don't have a preference for a skin tone.
So it was because of her personality, because she's.
Well, I'm not even saying I'm lighter. Honestly, that's the last show that I've seen where, if you ask me from previous seasons, that I watched her actual season before I went on the show. So that's probably the reason why I said that, because I watched it to see like, okay, Chris, let's see what you kind of getting yourself into. And then I saw the previews and stuff on the new show and kind of seen that. And I'm like, okay, she kind of cool, mean, but yeah, that's basically what I meant. It ain't like I don't know the woman, but she's not an ugly lady at all. She's attractive, but yeah, I don't know a lot of women from the other shows. I can't even lie.
Yeah, I understand. So you just mean like you don't prefer light skin, you don't prefer dark skin, you just prefer the woman that's for you. I
prefer the woman that's for me and that I find attractive.
Yeah.
Because I'm different from most guys. I might look at a lady nose or a certain feature and say, well, wow, I like, she got a nice nose.
I get it.
I like her because of her eye.
You just lit up.
So when you say that, because I've dated around, I've dated dark-skinned women, I've dated light-skinned women, I've dated outside of my race.
Yeah.
So I can't sit here and put that stereotype or say that I got a particular type. I just like what I like. Me is more so an energy and a vibe, but I want you to be attracted to me too, because that's important as well. Yeah. But I'm not looking for whatever the masses think that is attractive. And I feel like that's what a lot of men mess up at today. They want you to be attracted for what they want, but they also want Chris, when he see you, to say ooh we too. I'm not worried about whether John or Bob say ooh we. If I was dating Sabrina and I thought you was, as long as I feel that way, and I'm just using you the example. You the woman in front of me, Sabrina. You want me to use another name? My bad. Let me use another name.
No, it's okay. It's okay. See, you don't really watch me on YouTube and stuff like that. My face, it's my facial expressions. Like, that's what.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that I feel like a lot of people don't date for 100% what they like. They date for what they like, and they date for what they think the people like too. I've never been that type of person. If I find a person attractive, if I like their character traits, that's all that matters to me.
Right. Me too.
Because I've dated women and even my mama would be like, Chris, I don't know what he see on her. Like my mama say, and I'd be like, well, that's my mama's opinion. I like her. She absolutely beautiful in my eyes, or whatever the case is, and I take that and run with it. So I've always been that type of person. And I think my friends and family and people I went to school with, even back then, can vouch for me. Because I've dated women where the masses didn't even think probably was attractive. But to me, I found her attractive. And I've dated women where the masses would say, oh, wow, she's stunning, Chris. Mm-hmm. So that's just me. That's my dating style.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I'm the same way. Energy. It has to be, doesn't matter how you look. So are there any projects that you're working on that you would like to share?
We got a movie that'll be streaming soon. I'm going to put updates on social media and out there to let y'all guys, to let everyone know the platforms. The movie's called First Love. We just had the premiere. Shouts out to the director, the producer, Demondre, Steven, for giving me an opportunity to play a major part in this movie. We had the premiere a week or so ago at a big movie theater here in Dallas. It was absolutely amazing. I play a guy named Tatum in the movie. If anyone want to know like the character's vibe, he's kind of like Ike Turner, but not to the extent where he just that bad of a guy. But he's kind of like this husband who aggressive and trying to be controlled and all of that. And that movie is called First Love. There's a lot of information on it on my social media page. It's going to be streaming on multiple platforms where you can watch it nationwide. I got another project I can't really speak a lot about. It's another movie. I'll be leaving in a few weeks to go to Atlanta to film. It's a feature film. I'll be out there filming. I'm one of the lead guys. I'm playing a guy named Duke. He's a kingpin. And this is a feature film that's going to be on mostly all major platforms. And it's going to be streaming worldwide as well. And just in a good mood, Sabrina. Today I had some amazing stuff happen. I did a national campaign for body armor. So that's going to be releasing in January. I can't really speak much about that. So to all the ladies watching, that's why I have on this t-shirt, because I literally ran straight in the house from set to do this lovely.
He was backstage, like he was wiping this. I was like, "You need a minute."
It's going to be amazing. For everyone who watched my social media, I'm gonna post some of the behind the scenes footage no later than this Sunday, and it's going to be amazing. That's with body armor to drink. It was a blessing. It was a blessing. So I ended up shooting that today, and it was just a surreal experience. It was really, really amazing. And the reason why, and this bounced back to what you said, like, and I'll spread this piece of knowledge. Okay. Show gratitude, treat people nice, because you never know how God, the universe, whoever you believe in, can bring something your way.
Yes.
So I tell people like me, I do entertainment. I know how to go on auditions and all of this stuff. But a lot of things I've done, especially in the industry and entertainment, it's been God sent to me as well.
Yes.
So I'll say this before I leave. So basically, I did Ready to Love Dallas. And when you're on the platform, you did the show. A lot of people know you and stuff like that. I'm in this local gas station. Everybody like, oh man, that's the guy I'm Ready to Love. What's that? That's Chris. That's Chris. This one guy always bugged me. Hey man, I be on your social media, man. I got a clothing line. Can you please, man? Can you just wear my stuff? I'm like, man. But me, I'm a good person. I'm like, well, he ain't paying me. He don't owe me nothing. I got to fight 45 minutes of traffic to get to that side of town and go to this gas station because he texted me. I was like, man, I got you a care package, Chris, and I want you to come pick it up. So me just being the good person that I am, I say, you know what, man? Hey, support the brother. Because you've been that guy where you ain't had nobody support you and stuff like that too, Chris. So I make this drive all the way to this gas station, grab this man's clothing and say, thank you. I'm talking to him, and a few other people recognize me from the show. Like, hey man, I know that accent. You that Chris, because I cut my hair. So some people be like, is that him or is it not him? Yeah. And one of the big producers for body armor is at the store.
See?
He hear my conversation with the man who I'm getting the clothes. And he's like, when I walk outside the store, he's like, man, who is you? You in there, everybody seem to know you. And I'm like, yeah, I do a little acting and modeling and stuff. And he said, yeah, man, I do this, man. I do this big stuff for big companies and I do this. What's your social media? And I was like, yeah, I do that type of stuff for real too, man. So I'm just saying this, it's good to treat people right, because I went up there just with good intentions, even though I didn't feel like it. I've been working all day. I still make this drive. I go up here and get this innocent brother, just supporting one of my African-American brothers. He ain't giving me a dime. I got to make some reels and stuff in his clothes, and I just say that's going to make his day. I'm big on making other people's day. So I do that, excuse me. I do that to make him feel good.
Yeah.
Walking out of the gas station, I run into a lifetime opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah, Chris, well, hey man, I'm gonna keep you in mind. Get a text message. hey, Chris, you ever done like some modeling and stuff? You got any pictures you can send us over? I send the pictures. We love you, man. I just sent it to the execs over at Body Armor. They want to book you.
Oh.
So I got that opportunity. I'm just using that as a testimony.
Right. That's a
I got this opportunity just being the good Chris I am.
Amen.
Helping somebody for free.
Yes.
And we end up getting booked, making a great pay rate.
Yes.
All off of my good energy, going to do something unexpected, nothing in return.
Yeah.
So I tell people you got to move with that type of purpose too.
Absolutely.
And the reason why I'm saying that, because you asked me what projects did I have coming up. And that's one of the biggest projects I've done this year. That's actually major. And I met that just all doing a good deed. Yes. And that's something that people will have to bust their ass for.
Yes.
I do million people would die for that opportunity. And I'm very grateful and blessed for it. But I tell people, I always treat people right, show gratitude. I ain't feel like that. The traffic horrible in Dallas. I had to drive 30 minutes to get a jacket and stuff. But it's just the fact is, I wasn't expecting no money. I really was genuine at heart, really just was like, okay, I'm going to make that man day. That's what he want me to do. Right. Boom. God hit me in the chest just like that. But Chris, since you're going to be that nice of a guy and you ain't mentioned no money to this man or nothing, I'm going to give you a big opportunity, a campaign, and we're going to pay you. So I'm going to pay you for, boom. And that's how that works. So them are the latest projects I got going on. I finished that today. It was absolutely amazing. And that's how that happened. So I tell people, hey man, treat people right.
Yes.
You never know who you in the room with. You never know who listening to you. And some of the biggest opportunities in a lifetime could be right there at your nose and you won't even know. Absolutely. It happened for me just like that, just off of me being nice. Because I was at the right place at the right time. But the point I'm getting at, my spirit put me at the right place at the right time. Because I was going over there to be good intentions. God sent me over there to get that. Because boom. You know how many gas pumps that man could have been at and ran into somebody else? Right. I happened to be there, and then he hear me, and then see me in a good light. Hey, man, that was super nice what you did in there, man. I don't know you, but I saw what was going on. Oh, just like that.
Facts. Because had you known that that opportunity was available to you, you would have drove probably 12 hours to go get it. You know what I'm saying?
I'd have left to New York tonight going, driving, flying, whatever I needed to do. To make it happen. So I'm just telling people,
look what happened.
And I'm not saying that from an entertainment standpoint. I'm saying this overall to the viewers and everybody. Whatever you got going on in life, hey, you just treat people. That full circle is real.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Real, very real.
Amazing. You are so inspiring. I'm so glad I sat and talked with you because
I really appreciate you for having me.
Yes, this was amazing, and I hope that, and that's exactly why I do the missing link for stories like this, you know, because I had no idea that I was in for such a treat before this interview, because honestly, I was like, oh my God, I'm tired. And I was like, nope, I'm going to show, because I always show up. I will always show up. Yeah. And to have this interview, probably I can honestly say I've done a lot of interviews, and I can honestly say this was one of my best and favorites.
Oh man, I appreciate it.
So amazing. Great interview. Wow.
I really appreciate
it. Let everybody know where they can find you on social media.
You can find me on social media. You can go to if you go to my website, it'll take you to my social media and all that stuff. It's www.christopherruffin.com. If you want to check out my fitness brand and where you can purchase some of the supplements and things of that nature that's coming soon, you can go to www.cruff.com. Both of those links are in my bio on Instagram. My Instagram is cruff88 or cruff88. That's CRUFF88. I'm on Facebook, Christopher Ruffin.
Oh no.
If you type in Christopher Ruffin on Google search line, some of the things I've done for is media articles, some of my stuff from the past, all that stuff pops up as well.
Yeah. So just to let you know, guys, all the links that he just said is down in the description box below. Make sure you follow him on socials. Make sure you check out cruff.com, the website. His apparel's coming soon. His IMDb, the link is also down below. So if you guys that are watching the replay and if you are interested in booking him for any gigs, any movies, any shows, any commercials, or anything, modeling gigs, etc., definitely look that information up. Thank you so much for being here tonight, Chris. Thank you to my soulmates. Y'all have kept the chat going. I appreciate you so much. Make sure you like this video. If you are new here, thank you so much for being here. Make sure you subscribe. Click that black notification bell so every time I go live or upload, you'll be the first to know. And if you're watching the replay, comment down below and let me know exactly what you thought of this interview. All right, talk to you later, guys. Bye. Have a good